We're joined here in our D11 Sports Studio by Freddie Frederick Jr. And proud to be joined with Freddie because we've known him for a long, long time. And Freddie, glad to have you here on D11sports.com.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Freddie, obviously a lot of things going on. You've been around the DJ business a long, long time, between your dad and you know it more than anybody out there. And you're starting to, do something different during COVID-19. Tell us a little bit about what's going on right now and how you came up with the idea.
Well, you'd never think I'd be DJing from my basement. It's insane. I basically, people with this COVID-19 thing, we got stopped at the bar with no name, which I do every Wednesday night in Bethlehem. And a lot of the people were saying to me, like, Freddie, like, we're missing you. We want to be out. What can we do? We got to do something. We want to see you. We want to hear music. So I started using SoundCloud, and I started doing some just mixes and putting them up there for people and saying, you can go in and download these for free, just have fun with them. It was all the old school stuff. And, I believe that, my saying that I came up with is music is medicine, and it's copyrighted, but it's so true because people need the music right now. And so I let them go on and start downloading that stuff. Well, that wasn't good enough. Then they wanted, what can we do? How can we do this? So I said, okay, listen, I'm going to go one Wednesday night. I'm going to go on Facebook Live. I'm going to play some music and set up in the basement. And let's just have some fun with it and see what it does. And it took a lot of getting used to finding out new ways to do things because I'm not used to DJing in my basement and going live on Facebook Live. And, it happened. And when I went on my Wednesday night that I did it for my people for the bar with no name, it just exploded. And people were like talking back and forth in the chat messages. And it was like people I haven't seen in so long and people I have seen in recent days. And, it's just crazy how old friends and new friends. So they were like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I was like, maybe we have some fun now. I know families are at home with their kids and, they're strapped up in their living rooms, in their basements, and their dining rooms, and they're dancing everywhere. And I thought, kids are missing their school dances. So let's have some fun and just kind of interact a little bit and play some music and take requests and get people, out of that frame of mind of what's going on the outside and staying fun and, and getting some social aspect out of it. And it's just grown to be crazy. I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, for having a fan base like I have and opening up the fan base to more people now, it's insane. So.
And you've been doing this now for a while, since what, March 13th, March 18th, in that range. And did you ever think it was going to go this long?
Never. And I have a feeling it's going to be longer. I keep joking on my page, like while I'm on live, saying like I just can't wait to get out. And I promise everybody out there that once this is all said and done, we're going to throw a big party. It's going to be fun. And I don't know where we're going to do it yet. I've had people reach out to me from grocery store parking lots to all kinds of stuff that want to host it. So it's going to be big. It's crazy, but we can't wait to get out. But as long as we can keep people entertained right now the way we're doing it, and there are some glitches with Facebook Live and all that wonderful stuff, but people, I tell them, it's not negativity. Let's just keep it positive. Come back on, have fun, enjoy your night with your friends, have some drinks, have some chatter. People are starting watch parties and they're hosting it out to Zoom parties. So it's pretty big and it's crazy. I mean, is this the new norm? I hope not. But
yeah, right. That all said, you said, well, I'm going to keep doing this, but now you could be doing this for a while. You're in your basement, you got your family, upstairs hanging out. Your daughter sometimes pops downstairs. What does it say about your family, allowing you to do this? Because I know when you're down there for 4 hours or, I know the first day you were down there for like 10 hours, getting everything set up. But what can you say about your family and their support while you're making everyone else happy on the public side? Obviously, you got to make everybody happy on the inside for you guys.
Well, they're tired of the music playing really loud in the basement at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
And that's when you're really getting started. So
it really is. And, and I started, when I first started, I started going longer at night, but now to, respect out of the family. And my daughter, Alexis, just started at St. Luke's on 17th Street. So like this morning, she had to be there at 6 a.m. So last night while I was on, of course, I'm getting all kinds of text messages from her up in her bedroom saying, hey, Dad, I got to be up at 6 a.m. Can you turn it down a little bit? Well, when you're doing mixing and you're trying to have fun, you have to have a monitor to hear what's going on so you can hear the beats and stuff like that. So I kind of joked around last night and said, listen, I got to turn things down now. So now we're just going to play music and have fun. Like whatever, I don't care, because I'm not really known for my mixing and scratching and all that stuff like some of these DJs are. I think it's more the personality and I think it's more the social aspect of what's going on. And like I even said the other night, like I'm just going to shut up and let you guys kind of dance and have fun and listen to the music. And people were like, no, don't stop talking. Don't stop. We want to hear you. We want to talk to you. We want to know who's, so I think that's where it comes into play, and people need that right now. And my wife is all for it. I'm trying to get her on the show. I don't know what's going to happen yet. I mean, she's like, she's in her own thing trying to figure out what she's doing. But I think Brianna started off having fun in the beginning, and then now she's more on her schoolwork and doing things with her friends on Zoom and all that fun stuff. So I think she enjoyed it in the beginning, and then she said, Dad, you just burned me out. Like, I'm like, I want to be with my friends and I want to talk to my friends. So I think there's a lot of that going on. But they're very supportive of it. And, and like I say to my wife, okay, like she goes, it's almost like you're on a routine now where like, you got to be home at a certain time and you got to be down in the basement at a certain time and ready to go. And I'm like, I feel like I'm actually on a routine now. Like
you got a job. You got a job now. You got a different job because now you're obligated. Everybody's waiting. All right, 7:00. Freddie's coming on, and we need to see him at the exact time. So
and when I go on, it's like boom, it's like 50 people right away. It's like insane. Right. And I was just testing that one day in the basement, and I went on at 10:00 in the morning, I think, just to test it. And I had like 30 people on, so I stayed on because I was like, I felt bad. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like people are on now. What am I going to do? So I played some songs and just kind of tested things out. But yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
Would you have your back fixed by a mechanic? Don't take a risk with your rehabilitation. Trust physical therapy at St. Luke's.
So you wanted to go on Wednesday to start things off, and then all of a sudden, you added your Friday, your Saturday, now Sunday. You're going 4 days a week. Tell the viewers and what times you're going and what days you're going right now with what you're doing.
So Fridays, I do a family fun night from 7 to 10, which is just kind of letting kids and families get on and we play requests, and the kids can request stuff from school and stuff like that. And the parents are requesting things. We're doing all the fun line dancing. I mean, last night we did the chicken dance, which was insane, but I brought the whole Music Fest spin into it because who knows what's going to happen with Music Fest,
Yeah.
and that's relatable in Bethlehem. And, and people loved it last night. They're like, oh my gosh, the chicken dance. So, we're on from 7 to 10 on Fridays, and then usually at 10:00 I'll kick into like about 11:30 for the adults, and we'll do more of the adult stuff like the freestyle and the old school. And then Saturday we go on at 8:00. We do a fun old school dance party with some disco and some freestyle and old school music. And one of my big growing up things back in the day was Skate Away. So the one Saturday night I went on, we had so many people from back in the day from Skate Away. So I was like, let's turn it into a Skate Away reunion because people were coming from near and far, from all over, from Florida, from Wisconsin, from Virginia, from Arizona. It's insane. And I thought, everybody can come in and have fun, but let's kind of have some fun and make some themes out of it. And then Sunday I started a sock hop, which 50s through the 80s. And I don't see many DJs online doing that. And I just felt people wanted oldies, and that grew to be a monster too, which was awesome. I mean, the one night we had over 1,000 people watching, which was insane from a basement in McCungy. I mean, It really is, But,
for you having this opportunity and coming up with that idea and saying, I'm going to do this and see what happens. And, you're putting plugs in, you're trying this, you're trying new different things each and every time. You're getting bounced off Facebook, you're getting back on Facebook, but people are joining it. You have the normal people, your norm that are coming in, but you're definitely attracting more people each and every time you go on. That has to say a lot, not only about you with your experience, but about the fans really needing this, really wanting this.
They really need it. And I get emails out. I mean, I get so many emails and messages about how helping people with anxiety and helping people with stress, and they really needed this. And people that were going to shut down their businesses and couldn't go on and found the dance party and just had a great time and brought back their high school years and their years at the clubs, all the local clubs, and, dancing with me and dancing with my dad. And it's just insane. And I'm glad that I finally have a talent that I can give back that will help people at this point, because that's what people need. And everybody's doing their own thing to help people at this point. And there's no cover charge. It's free to get in. Mm-hmm. It was never about the money. It was more about just giving back to the community and trying something different. And it just exploded. And like I said, I'm blessed. And my Facebook page has always been private. I've only had people that were friends with me on my Facebook page. And when this all happened, I opened it up to the public because everybody's kind of asking me how to get on, or friends were sharing. And I'm telling you, like I sat here this morning, I went through my friends list and like for confirms, and I have probably about 45, 50 people right now that I have to confirm yet that are trying to be friends with me. And, in this day and age, you have to be careful because you don't know who's on there and who's trying to make a friend out of you. But I'm open to the public now. So it's like, all holds barred are gone. Like it's like, and now,
Right.
so I probably increased my friends list by 1,500 people in the last 6 weeks.
That's more than you
And
had in high school and college then, right?
oh my, and it's insane. And it's people, the funny thing is a lot of people I know that I've never been friends with on Facebook,
Right.
but I know them. And like, I have past brides on my virtual dance parties now. I have new brides coming up. I have weddings that brides are calling me now saying they want to book me. Like, so it's working well. And, you know, again, it's just something to give back that people need. And like I said, music is medicine. And I wish it wasn't copyrighted, because I would be, you know, people are like, can we make t-shirts? Can we do this? Can we do this? The Freddie's Basement Dance Party, music is medicine, but it's copyrighted. So, you know, got to figure out something else, because now people want your t-shirts. It's like, now they want to start like this big chain of things. And it's like, where do you go from here? You know, I don't know where it grows, you know?
St. Luke's Pediatrics delivers the care you expect for your child, now and for their future. Choose a St. Luke's pediatrician today.
You mentioned your dad, and obviously, you know, he's a veteran. You know, he did this for a long time. I know he did my parents' 25th anniversary years ago, and he's done, you know, so many. Getting your start with your dad, when did that first come about? How old were you when you first said, "What are you doing, Dad?" And oh, I want to do this too. You know, tell us about that a little bit.
6 years old, I was running around WEEX radio station on a Saturday morning with my dad. I used to go all the time to the radio station. He'd take me all the time, and I'd watch him on the air, and I'd watch him do this and do that. And I used to go, like, you know, watch him, like, just everything he did in the radio station. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then, you know, one thing my dad did when I was younger was he started a record collection for me. As he was buying his oldies back in the day, he'd always buy doubles of everything, triples of everything. So, you know, the one day he says to me, hey, you know what, you know, you've been coming to the radio station a long time with me now, so here's a bunch of records, you know, and here's a little turntable, have some fun. And I started, and I was like, you know, this is really cool. And, you know, the voice came naturally, which was his voice, which was great. So people are always like, oh my God, you sound just like your dad. You look like your dad,
Yeah, right.
you know? You know, and I always tell people, you know, it's funny because they're always like, oh, you have the advantage because your dad was a legend in the Lehigh Valley and he's a DJ. And I'm like, you don't realize though, like when I go out and do something, I got to do 150% because another DJ can just come in and do 75% and be good. But people are saying, oh, that's Frantic Freddie's son, or that's Freddie Frederick's son. He's got to be good. Now the pressure's on. So when I started DJing finally, I was about 15 years old, and my dad came to me and he said, well, I'll tell you what, I got you your first wedding. And I was like, whoa. Well, to back up a little bit, I started at Sound Celebration as a setup guy. So one of my biggest things was I'd set up the equipment, and I'd go and I'd sit at everybody's dance parties. So I sat with Joey Mitchell, I sat with Jerry Dean, I sat with Jay Sands. I sat with a bunch of different people because I set up their equipment, but I didn't leave, I'd stay there. And I learned a lot from all those guys. And, you know, I sat with my dad and I sat with a bunch of different people. And then my dad said, well, you're ready to do your own. And I was like, oh no. And I did a wedding and it was great. They loved it. And I was like, this is really fun. Like people are getting energy on the dance floor. They're having fun. I'm like, I like this. And I knew the music. So I was like, I grew up with the music. So it was like fun. So I was like, okay, this could be a career, you know? And wanted to make dad proud, as everybody wants to, you know? So started doing weddings, and then it just took off from there. I mean, I got my first nightclub gig at Encore in Bethlehem, which is now the Bar with No Name. I got my first gig there when I was 16 years old. I was doing happy hour on a Friday night, and crazy for a 16-year-old being in a nightclub doing a happy hour, but you know, I started gaining my following from there. And I was like doing school dances, and I was young and hip, so it was fun. And then I started looking at the radio aspect of it, and I was like, well, what do I want to do here? Do I want to get in radio? And my dad one day pulls up to the house and says, get in the car. I said, what's going on? He goes, we're going to get your radio job. And I go, how? And he goes, let's go. And I was only 17 at that time. And we pulled up to WGPA in Bethlehem on Broad Street, and we went in to see Jolly Joe Timmer. Mm-hmm. And my dad said, got you a job. You're doing afternoons now. You're going to be on from 2 to 5. He said, here you go. And I talked to Jolly Joe. He's like, we're going to put you on, kid. Let's go. And that's where my radio career started. And from there, I got heard on Paige Lamers, who was the program director and manager at WLEV on 96.1 in Easton. She heard me one day, and she was like, hey, why don't you come over and interview? So I went over, and then I got my first part-time job at LEV, and that's where it all kind of sparked from there. But yeah, it started when I was probably 5 years old and walking around WEX radio station in Easton on the top of the hill, which was crazy. But
That's fantastic. And you know,
Yeah.
now, you know, through, you know, this pandemic that we're going through, you mentioned the word stress, calming. You know, sometimes I'm just doing things around the house and I'm listening to you. I put you on my big screen, so you know, don't get a big head there,
Crazy.
but you're on my 70-inch TV, and my kids are like
Crazy.
watching. Are you watching Freddie? I'm like, yes, I am. So you know, I could speak for a lot of the people on Facebook that are watching you, that you are making this so much easier for everyone else to go through this. And it's just one of those. My sister-in-law is watching from Orlando, Florida. My friend's watching from Kentucky. You know, my brother's watching from Indiana. So, you know, you got our family, you know, cousins from New York are watching. But besides that, you know, I'm seeing you have people from Las Vegas, from, you know, Arizona, different. It's great because it gives you a forum and you're doing what you love at the same time. I really applaud you for what you're doing, not only to making you feel good, but you're making everyone else in the community do good as well.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate it. I mean, and thanks for watching, because like I said, I never thought a little basement in Macungie would blow up to be something this big.
Freddie, thanks a lot for taking the time with us. Again, we'll be listening and watching on Wednesdays, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for listening. And
All
remember,
right.
music is medicine.
All right. Freddie Frederick Jr. joining us here on D11sports.com. We'll hear from him down the road as well. Keep up the good work. Thanks.